make a little few chapters here. Another thing I wanted to talk about is really the difference between energy medicine and informational medicine. I heard a few times energy medicine is the medicine of the future, and I heard solar cells, and actually before I did all this 20 years ago, I was selling solar cells, so it's a really interesting thing. But I think we are already into the next step. The 20th century was really the century of energy. Imagine it started with the beginning of the 20th century. Radio was developed, TV was developed, the atomic power was developed. This is pure energy developments. So, but this was only the first 30 years of the 20th century. Radio, nuclear power, TV, and then later even computers. So this was the age of the energy age. Just like in the 19th century, this was the century where they developed all technology of chemistry. This was just one century of chemistry. And the 21st century is really the century, I know, this is the century of information. Because just at the end of the 20th century, the computer was developed. And the computer, of course, it's an energy machine in a way, because you need a battery, you need a plug, if you want to power it from the grid. But that's not the important thing about a computer. What's the important thing about a computer? It's the software. It's the program. It's the intelligence that it has. Yes, and not the energy. It's not like the things that were developed in the beginning of the 20th century, which were really big generators. The generators for electricity, the transformers, huge machines, huge. But this is tiny. But it's so much more, not energetic, it's so much more intelligent. And we have this now in watches, in smaller and smaller appliances. So it's not the time anymore of huge quantity, of huge energy. We can run a pocket computer on a tiny battery. So what this is showing, it's going away from energy to something else. And what is this? It's information. And now, just in the last 20 years, something even more purely informational and even more powerful has come along. And what's that? We don't even see it anymore because it's there everywhere. It's so much taking our everyday life. What is it? No, what is it that you are dealing with, everybody of you, at least 1-2 hours every day? That's not really a computer, and that's only around since the last 15-20 years.
It's a mobile phone?
Huh?
Mobile phone? Mobile phone?
Mobile phone? Well, that's around since 30 years, but of course you deal with this also a lot. But see, nobody even realizes what are you dealing with at least 1-2 hours every day, more than with your wife for sure.
All these waves in the air.
No, I don't know. I don't even know what. I'm not dealing with them. Maybe they are there. I don't know. But 1-2 hours, if they are there, you deal with them all the time. 1-2 hours, every one of you deals with this new thing. It has not been there 25 years ago. You spend valuable time on this thing. See, it's so interesting. When I tell you, of course, everybody will say yes, but because it's so everywhere that we don't see it anymore, and that's the internet. That's the internet. Imagine a life without internet. I mean, what worst situation can happen today for most people if the screen comes up and say you're not connected, no connectivity. It's not possible. I have to do this, and now no connectivity. Yeah? So I was asking you, what are you dealing with more than you with your wife? Is this true? Yes. You are dealing more with the internet than with your wife or with your husband. Every one of you. You give more messages to your online partners than to your physical partner. Yeah? Yeah, it's funny, but we have to compute this. We have to get aware of this. So, what is the internet? Is this energy? No, it's not energy. It's pure information. It maybe uses eventually a little bit of battery to make it visible, to allow us to use a keyboard and a monitor, but it's not energy. So, this is what I'm interested most in and what the core is most about. And that's what's really the future. And I can honestly say the books that Alan showed, they're books of the past. They're like 20, 30 years old. And they're about energy medicine, yes? And maybe even the field is a book that talks about information, but with the concepts of energy. They're also out there. Because now is the time that we have to have new concepts of information without the concept of energy. See, and this is a real new step. Just like 100 years ago, people had to understand what is energy. Even Maxwell, who invented the first concepts of electromagnetic radiation, he first talked about electromagnetic radiation as in forms of vortexes of matter, of fluids. So now we don't think anymore of radiation as vortex of fluids, but Maxwell, who developed all the principles, the laws, and the formulas, he was visualizing a movement of fluids. So most people, they don't think at all. They think they know what's this electromagnetic radiation. No, we don't know, and we don't care, really. We just use. And the same is now this information. We want to know what is it, maybe now, but in 100 years they won't know more, much more. They will not care about it, but they will use it all the time. Just like I remember when I came first time to Hong Kong, this was 25 years ago, or 30 years ago. I'm old, I'm very old. So 30 years ago I came to Hong Kong, we arrived there, and I saw all those people standing in some corners with a black thing, it was like a big thing, at their ear, and I thought this is all Secret Service, having some special instruments. Now it's clear, this was the first big cell phones, and in Hong Kong it was the first place I saw big numbers of people using cell phones. Yes? So now it's being used everywhere, and the same thing will happen with informational tools. So this is the first introduction I want to give to make you aware that energy medicine is one thing and informational medicine is something else. And when you look on Google, you put in informational medicine, almost all the pages are there. They are from Kiran or energetics. And because this is what I coined 10 years ago, the idea of informational medicine. So, but what is it and how does it compare with energy medicine? How do they work together? How can we make them useful? That's a big part of time I'm being allowed here. Okay.